Shout out to Chicago. I told y'all, I've been trying to go over to the West Coast to hold them accountable. Justin Lawrence, I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. I've been trying to go over to the West Coast to hold them accountable, but Chicago keep bringing. Every time I try to leave, something keep pulling me back. Every time I try to leave, something keep pulling me back. I can't get away from Chicago. Why does Chicago want me to continue to hold them accountable? Why does the mayor of Chicago keep bringing me back? I don't understand it. You know it's bad when the funeral home owner, right? When the funeral home owner say, yo, this is out of hand. Nobody has a better pulse of what's happening in the streets than a funeral home owner. Nobody has a better pulse of what's happening in the streets of Chicago than the funeral home owners. All right? Let's get into it. Why waste time? Chicago, it's your turn. Shout out to Aaron over there, moved out of Chicago so that he can raise his son in a conducive environment, but he continues to cape for him. Shout out to Aaron.
And we begin with a shooting outside a funeral home on Chicago's South Side.
Nate Rogers is live with details. Nate.
Yeah, that's right. I'm Anthony and Ellie. This is something we're seeing more and more citywide. Shootings taking place following crime victims' funerals. This one taking place right in front of Chicago Police. I want you to take a little walk with me and look at this SUV, the car window here. You can see the glass shattered by gunfire. Now, this was a crime scene for at least a couple of hours. A funeral home.
Could you imagine what the insurance companies is thinking over there in Chicago? They know that somebody is going to call and say, hey, fam, listen, it's not my fault, but it's some bullets inside of my car and it's some holes on the door and the windows is shot out. That is some bullet holes in my car, that it was just parked overnight and it's not even necessarily in a bad space, but we outside of a funeral home and my car just got shot up. I don't know what to do. Can you imagine what that call is like over into the insurance company? That your car just parked. And next thing you know, you come outside and you see bullet holes in it and the car windows are shattered.
Telling me a service had just let out for a crime victim. Loved ones were outside walking to the parking lot when gunmen inside the vehicle drove up and began firing several rounds. It happened here outside the well-known Leak & Sons funeral home, 79th and Cottage, around 11 this morning. Police say a 38-year-old man.
Y'all don't even wait till the nighttime no more. Y'all pulling up to the funeral homes to shoot at the ops' parents for burying their children? Good Jesus Christ. What is happening over in Chicago? What is happening in Chicago? I can't go to the funeral no more? Listen, even in The Wire, they say you don't implement violence on a Sunday. You don't shoot up the church mothers' hats. Why are y'all pulling up at 11 a.m.? and shooting out everything, even in front of you can't go to the funeral home no more? You can't go to the funeral home no more? Even the people that's operating the funeral home owner and say, listen, profitability is sky high, but I can't take it.
And was shot in the head, neck, and face. A 43-year-old man was also struck in the jaw. The funeral home has serviced hundreds of thousands of families in its 80-year history.
A 43-year-old man was shot in the jaw, and he lived to tell the story. Funeral home has served more people than McDonald's, hundreds of thousands of customers, and they've never seen anything like this. Think about this, y'all. Hundreds of thousands, funeral home owners. Usually that's passed down from generation to generation. That means that the grandfather and the father and then now the son, and now they trying to pass it on to their son. They say, listen, in our time here in Chicago, we have never, ever, ever seen something of this ilk. We have never seen these kind of demons and monsters running around. We need the Pope's Exorcist. Shout out to the people that watch the Pope's Exorcist on Netflix. I was currently watching it and I got a little scared. I put my blankie up. I said, "Ooh, it looked like Chicago in here." That demon that took over that little boy looked like Chicago demons. They must got a whole lot of them type of demons running around in Chicago. You got the Pope Exorcist demons running around in Chicago, fucking up the bag for everybody, shooting people in the jaw, shooting people's cars out right in front of the funeral home at 11 a.m. when people trying to bury their kids. Okay.
Oftentimes handling the cost for poor and crime.
Hey, can you hear the car burning out in the background while he talking? Let me rewind it a little bit. Listen to this.
80-year history. Oftentimes handling the cost for poor and crime victims.
Listen, man, shout out to my people and my bag chasers and the people that watch this show that's from Chicago. But I just got to be honest. And we're going to continue this story, right? Because we got a lot to get to today. Your city is a piece of trash. There is no other way around it. The city of Chicago is, and you ain't even got to be offended at it because I'm going to be honest. Listen, Chicago is a piece of shit right now. It's not that it can't come back, but it's just going to take RoboCop in order to fix it. And I'm not dissing the people of Chicago because it's not your city. You don't own it. You don't even own property there. So just because you was born there does not mean that you have to continue to claim it. You are wherever it is that you are right now. If you are from Chicago, I am deploring you to get the fuck out of there because it is a trash receptacle right now. Is no reason for any reasonable person in their right mind that is not trash, that does not vote blue, to be sitting in Chicago on the south side being a prisoner in their own home. Your city has officially, and you are slightly above Philadelphia, Chicagoans, it's over. Finito. It's done. When the funeral home owners say it's over, it's over. It is over. Flat out. There's no reason for you to defend it. Michael Jordan don't live there. He don't play there. B.J. Armstrong moved away. Lonzo Ball can't even suit up, so his knees is bad out there in the streets. It's nothing. Listen, the people from Detroit don't even want to drive over to Chicago for a weekend getaway no more. You know it's fucking bad. We decided to go over to Pittsburgh. We drive the same amount of time the opposite way. Go that way. Go that way. Miracle Mile, we ain't going over there. Taxes is high. People is under duress. Mayor is bad. Everybody got a switch, and they shooting up the funeral home. What more do you want? That's literally the recipe for a third world country.
Families now. Owner Spencer Lee Jr. says today's gunmen were brazen.
Ever there is a gunshot or a crime victim service, sure, we call the police.
Hey, he not even standing up straight. The funeral home owner ain't got no mustache, and he just leaning against the building like, man, this is enough is enough. These dudes is just out of control. Out of control.
And the police send a car. A police car was right out front when all of this happened.
And police witnessed it.
Wait. I didn't know that part of the story was going to be there. The police car was sitting right out front. They had no regard for the police, and they still shot up the funeral home and still shot up the 43-year-old in his jaw and still shot up the cars. The police was sitting outside, and they still went out there and did work. Wow. And the mayor keep telling us that this is just large gatherings. This is not something to be concerned about. Wait. You got to be kidding me. I did not know that part of the story actually existed. Let me rewind it real quick.
It was right out front when all of this happened.
And police witnessed it.
Police witnessed it. They took off and chased the guys.
What do you think about that?
It's just, I mean, if you can do it in front of the police, how is it going to be stopped?
The funeral home owner decided that he wanted to go on a further rant, so I'm going to share that with y'all. I want y'all to see what his sentiments are. We just going to let him rant for a minute.
And I'm tired of it. I am sick. My brother, my father, funeral homes, funeral directors across this city, across this state. This is not just happening in Chicago. This is happening in Atlanta, Philadelphia, California. It's happening everywhere. What are we as a society going to do to help stop this? It's been upsetting for us, for my father, other funeral homes in the city. for some reason, I feel this just started happening. I mean, this is the new trend or something. Years ago, we would unfortunately have a victim of a homicide, and they were the most peaceful funerals. You know, it was the other families that were the uncles and the aunts, like the Hatfields and McCoys. They were the ones that would have the fights and things like that. But the person who was the victim of a gunshot, the funerals were quiet, just no problems. But for some reason this year, last year, maybe COVID is a part of it. This is what's happening at these funeral services, and we can only do so much. When we know that there's going to be a funeral at our funeral home for a victim of a homicide, we call the police. And most of the time they graciously send a car to sit out front of the funeral home, and we thank the police for that, and that's what happened today. So from what I understand, the shooting took place right in front of the police. So what else can we do? You know what I mean? The police are out front. We've called and we've let everybody know. We've let the family know that we're going to have the police outside. Are you okay with that? They say yes. The police are outside and this happens. What else can we do?
You seem very upset.
I'm very upset. I mean, where you can't see that name? That's my name on that building. And when things like that happen in front of my place, that affects my name, my brother's name, my son, who's 19, who hopefully will take over this place one day.
Run. Run. Run, run. Run, run, run. Listen, if you're willing to risk it, then take a chance. If you're not willing to risk it, then run, run, run away. Listen. When the funeral home director says, "Is that bad out here?" then you have to start taking some things into consideration, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just being real with you. When the funeral home owner says, "Listen, bro, it's so bad out here that they don't even care about the police anymore," and it's like the McCoys, yo, what do you want me to do? The mayor is calling for y'all to defund the police. He's downplaying it and saying that it's just large gatherings. He's walking around with his mohawk fade. The funeral home director is saying that, yo, it's bad out here in these streets. Everything is getting shot up. Nothing is ever sacred anymore. Yo, I had somebody in the chat that said, yo, Chicago ain't that bad. You just got to learn how to move. What? I don't want to learn how to move. I just want to be a normal human being. What are you talking about? I ain't trying to learn how to move. That's not normal. This is not normal. Do y'all not understand? Listen. Do y'all not understand that? And I know y'all don't like to hear this. This is a demonic spirit that is running rampant and being fed. Shout out to Speaker Vibes. I'm going to be reading the super chat shortly. This is a demonic spirit that is running rampant in our society, and it is being fed like a rabid dog, and it's growing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and now it's starting to be at your doorstep, and you are not going to be able to run fast enough to get away from it before it then affects what it is that's going on in your life. This is getting out of control. It is a demonic spirit that is taking over our women, our children, our society, and you don't want to believe it, but I'm telling you, it is nothing else that you can explain to me that would foster this type of situation and this type of mindset to where you feel comfortable enough to shoot up a funeral home while the police is sitting in front of it.
It affects him. Chicago, put the guns down. You all are ending generational. You're ending.
He don't even know what the words to say.
Generations of history, so to speak. That is an institution This is an institution. We have done what we're supposed to do. Everybody says you're supposed to take care of your neighborhood. Heck, we bought the whole block. We're doing what we're supposed to do. Everybody else, you need to do your part. We're doing our best.
Somebody told me that it's a substantial amount of likes that's missing from this live stream, even though we cooking up every single morning. Somebody told me that it's a substantial amount of likes that's missing from this live stream, even though we cooking up every single morning. What are y'all doing? So y'all came in to come and get the game and be entertained, and y'all didn't even hit a like for the YouTube algorithm?
And that these services and what your father and what your family has been doing for decades now, trying to allow the deceased.
Look. And I'm going to show you what the problem is. This is why we got a problem. Sean says, are they manufacturing the guns? Okay, so let me ask you a question. Have you ever smoked crack, Sean? Have you ever smoked crack? I'm just curious. Let me blow this up a little bit. Have you ever smoked crack, Sean? Now, Anton, why would you ask me if I ever smoked crack? Because I know that you know where to get it from. Are you worried about who manufactures the crack? And do you have to use it just because it's readily available to you? When did we have to start subjecting ourselves to stuff to just because it's available? Why do y'all keep wanting to hold? Okay, so if it wasn't guns and they started stabbing each other, would they be not? It would be knives. If they start beating each other in the head with a broomstick, do that mean that we got to stop manufacturing broomsticks? Or do you have to take accountability for what it is that you're doing? So we don't want to hold the parents accountable. We don't want to hold the city leaders accountable. We don't want to hold the fact that they saying defund the police. We don't ever want to do anything that actually holds ourselves accountable. It's always somebody else who's responsible for where it is that we supposed to be in our lives. No matter what you say, and no matter how much crack is available, you will never get me able to smoke crack. Who manufactures the crack? I don't give a fuck. I don't want that shit. You can't get somebody to do something that they don't want to do. I don't care how much box is being thrown out here. You can't force me to cheat. That's the rules of the game. You don't get mad at the player. You don't get mad at the game. You get mad. Yo, you make sure that you take care of home. It's not your the same thing that applies to relationships applies to life principles. You can't get mad at the person that didn't bust down your chick. You hold your chick accountable for not doing what she's supposed to do, because there's no way that somebody should be able to convince you to do something that you don't want to do. What's wrong with y'all? Can't nobody force me to do something I don't want to do. Y'all so easily influenced. That's why y'all out here eating butt. That's why y'all out here eating butt. You know why y'all out here eating butt? Because everybody else influenced you to eat butt. Now you think it's normal to put your face in somewhere where somebody is taking a dump at. That's why you eat butt. That's why y'all do some of the dumbest shit that I've ever seen in my entire life. Man, come on, man. Let me talk my shit right now. Let me get the funeral. This is why y'all eat butt. This is why you feel comfortable doing shit that you're not supposed to do. That's completely out of the fucking norm. It makes no sense whatsoever. But y'all out here doing the dumbest shit ever because it's easily available. So just because somebody bend over, you gonna put your head in between her ass? Just because somebody bend over, are you gonna put your That's why they won't give me my 30 million, because I don't know how to be politically correct, right? They don't want to put me on national TV and give me my 30 million because they know I got the best morning show on earth. But I don't know how to be politically correct. Listen, if somebody is outside walking around with their dangling out, are you going to automatically go and grab it? No, you don't do things that you're not supposed to do. You make sure that you stay far away. You're supposed to run away from the wrong thing when you see it happening, not continue to embrace it. Well, who make the gun? So that means I got to go out there and put a switch on it and put a silencer on it and also put the scope on there and start shooting it. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? So everything that somebody make available to you, you just do it. When you see a chick bend over, you going to put your head in between her butt just because it seemed nice? Or are you going to start making better decisions for yourself? What's wrong with us? Randy, let your mother hear this. She needs to know what's going on in this society. Why are you eating butt? So you heard Janae Aiko talk about the groceries, and now it's cool for you to continue to put your head in the groceries.